Hello, everybody. It is Professor Rocco, your boy here, coming at you once again with another Age of Sigmar Master Class. In this episode, in episode 6, we're going to be actually answering a viewer question of when do you give away the double turn? Because, anyone and their grandmother will tell you, well, you take it all the time. Kill them. No retreat. No surrender. Run up and get them. And that is not always the case. All right, whether this is newer players or tournament players, everyone gets the bloodlust in their eyes every once in a while. That's why people go around saying Corn. It's a whole thing of blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, and the Auric Wog. But I'm going to give you 3 good examples of when you would give away the double turn. But first, let me go out by defining what the double turn is here. Now, the double turn itself is, all right, your opponent outdropped you. They gave you turn 1, right? That's great. And you're player A. Player A goes first. Then player B goes next. Top of battle round 1, bottom of battle round 1. Battle round 2 comes around. And now player B is going to go first in battle round 2. They have literally had 2 consecutive turns. And that's the double turn. That's literally it. Now, a lot of times when a double turn happens, it will be either like a catch-up mechanic of, oh man, this player was so far behind, now they can get back to an even game state. Or if someone was just so far ahead, it just slams the door on their opponent. Now, when it comes to how do we, why would we ever even give it away? We'll just jump right in here. So, my first reason of why you would give away the double turn is, hey, just like in my example, my opponent outdropped me and gave me first turn. Great. You know, I do not need to walk up to the middle of the board to their charge ranges and their gun ranges and get shot and charged on their turn with my screens for them to then double turn me and go into the meat of my army. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move barely as far up as I can, score as many points as I can without overextending myself, and then say, okay, go. They move up. If they make that 12-inch charge, more power to them. But more importantly, I'm going to give them the turn. 100%. That's all I'm doing. I'm thinking, all right, cool. This will just be like one long extended turn for you, and then the onus is on me to double turn you. That whole axe hanging over my head to execute me, no longer there. It's up to me to go and swing this game around. Now, the second time we can run to the second kind of example here is my opponent moved out of position with their stuff. Now, what stuff? What do I mean by out of position here? All right, follow me here. Now, my opponent threw like the kitchen sink of every buff they had in their army onto a unit, right? It got like plus 20 to charge, minus 10 rend, ignoring 5 rend. Think of the most ridiculous buffs of anything you can get on in a unit or a single hero model, whatever. It is buffed to the nines. This thing will kill 2,000 points of whatever it touches. Now, they've had their turn. They moved up. They got really aggressive. And that unit that is fully buffed is not in range to be buffed again. And more importantly, if I took the turn, those buffs are still on there. Because a lot of buffs in Age of Sigmar, it goes either for the phase, for a player turn, which is kind of rare, or the most common one of until your next hero phase. So now we've got my opponent's big unit way out in front. It killed whatever. Great. If I take the turn, I can't kill that thing. It ain't happening. No way. And if I even try to, if I try to kill that thing and miss, I just fed it like 500 points of my army in the retaliation. Instead, I'm going to give my opponent the turn. All the buffs are going to drop off. And then that unit all of a sudden goes back to being immortal. And then we just deal with it. It's going to hurt short term, but long term, it's going to save me bodies on points, points in my list, and it's going to end up winning me the game. Now, option 3 here is you live in dangerously, all right? You have half your army in Deep Strike, they have half their army in Deep Strike. This could be the classic Living City versus Adneth Deepkin duel that I've been in 6 times. I've played it on each side 3. And you know what? Generally, whoever goes out and forces their opponent to play their hand, this is that whole you can only hold units in reserve until the end of battle round 3, then after that they count as being slain. So I'm going to force my opponent to have to deploy their stuff from deep strike first, because usually what happens is, hey man, this is my glass hammer that can't take a hit, but it's going to jump you and get you. All right, now this is it could be Morstar Guard, it could be Kinnerai um for Daughters of Cain. You know what? Take your pick of something squishy that does a lot of damage to your army that can jump out and say surprise and get you. Um, and I want them to do that first. You know why? Because that means that they still have to waste units to screen out my reserve troops on their turn. Because you know what? Yeah, they can't move after me. So when they pop out of wherever they're popping out, on my turn, I can just dedicate my full army to come out after them now. They cannot stop me. Next. If they end up coming out, I can just generally use my own deep striking stuff to come out and hit their deep striking stuff. They came in and hit like a screen or an anvil of mine that was out, like, again, taking up territory that they couldn't come in, holding a point. And then I can double turn them with my hammer. And that onus is on me now to go and double turn them. That's that catch up mechanic that can turn oppressive if we do this right, where I just go and force my units onto them and double turn really easily. And we just move on from there. Now, when it comes to this kind of a thing, it's risky. Again, this involves opening yourself up to having to sacrifice troops for your army, and it could hurt short term. Long term, though, again, it gives you the chance to double turn. It lets you respond to their aggression and match it yourself. And it ends up winning you more games than you'll lose, too, which is really cool with all this. And you know what? No one's going to think about this coming to you're going to give them the double turn. They're going to be shocked. Because again, like I said earlier, it's going to be a whole duh, of course I'm taking the double turn. They're going to get so greedy and so full of bloodlust, but you're keeping a calm and cool head. Again, you're looking at, well, you gave me battle round 1. I'm not going to move up and let you get an easy double turn and wipe me off the table. I'm seeing that your units are so out of position and just too far away to get buffed up again that they're not going to hurt me. And I also see you had that hammer off the board, man, and I'm going to let you have to pop that out first so I can respond in kind. And then I get to double turn you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rocco, your girl, and I'm here with your tip of the week. Now, my tip this week involves how you handle all of the rules that we have to know in order to play Age of Sigmar. And for those of us that like using paper and books a little bit better than using any of our online tools, this tip is for you. Now, I personally like to do something that I call tabbing. And tabbing has to deal with going to your favorite office supply store and buying my little plastic colored tabs and putting them on the rules pages that you find most important. Now, you'd only do this after you read all of your rules and had an understanding of where to find all of your rules in the various books. But once you do all that and you put down our special tabs on our various pages, you'll be able to find your rules much more efficiently. I do this, and Rocco your boy does this, in order to find our rules during a game, because each of our different colors have different meanings to us, whether it's our allegiance abilities or our various rules specific to our units. We know where to find them and how to use them. And so this might sound really simple, but at all of the different places Rocco your boy and I have been, it's been really helpful, and we've liked to pass it along. And now to you. And with that, I'll see you next week with a new tip. Bye, everyone.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time coming to class today. And if you have your own questions, I want you to go into the comment section, and we'll try to end up making videos out of them. And you know, we're a learning channel. Share the video around, leave a like, save a life with their AoS career. Be like, hey man, you shouldn't be trying to take those double turns all the time because you're just screwing yourself. And we could all grow as a community together. So thank you for watching. And as I like to say with all my videos at the end here, class dismissed.